Have you ever found yourself near the end of the road, thinking there was only one way to go? What if you didn't like where the road was leading you? What do? You create a crossroad. I'm Lara, 17 years old, and I'm here to tell you the story of how 3 years ago, my parents created a crossroad to save my life. At the age of 11, I was diagnosed with high-risk leukemia with a Philadelphia chromosome, which is a type of fast-spreading blood cancer. At that time, I was doing so well with my treatment that I was able to avoid bone marrow transplant. And I only had to go through 1 year of intensive chemotherapy and 1 year of maintenance. Unfortunately, a few months after my maintenance treatment finished, I had a relapse. And this time, we knew I would never be cured without the transplant. So we started looking for a donor. That is when my road started to become more rocky. According to the charity Anthony Nolan, the process of finding a donor starts with checking the sick person's blood for his or her HLA tissue type, which is similar to the blood group, but much more complex as there are 10 points which have to match. So the more points that will fit, the better the chances the new bone marrow will be accepted. Next, they check your close relative's HLA for the first 6 points. In this test, my parents did not quite fit, but my sister, on the other hand, was a 5 out of 6, almost the match. Unfortunately, as a standard practice here, they do not check the following points, if not all 6 points fit. So the doctors started looking for a donor in the database. After a month of searching, we were lucky to find a 10 out of 10 donor. And for a while, our road was smooth. Until the day when I was waiting in the hospital with my suitcase and my parents to be called into the transplant department by my doctors. I was ready. We were ready. And after a long time of waiting, my doctors finally came out of the office, walking towards us. But we soon saw that they had no expressions on their faces. Our hearts froze, because we knew what was coming. My perfect donor was sick. And now, I had to take the next donor in line. At this point, I was standing still on the road, which was now leading off a cliff. This cliff was my next donor in line, an 8 out of 10. Because anything under 9 points made it more unlikely for me to survive, as it was the second time I was fighting cancer. It was not a safe path. We were sent back home by the doctors to process the bad news. My whole family was devastated. And after a long time of feeling miserable, we asked ourselves the same question you might be asking. What now? This exact question and their determination to save me inspired my parents to build a different road. My mom looked into a new type of treatment provided only in Germany, and my dad looked over the bone marrow results of my sister and wondered why not all 10 points were checked. In his research, he found that it was too expensive to check the following points, and as they were highly unlikely to fit, they did not check them. As my sister was a 5 out of 6, it opened another possible path. Although this path was likely to fail, it was still a path. So the next morning, my parents and I came to the hospital armed with alternative solutions, which brought back our hope. We asked to see the doctors at once, and the doctors came, open to hear my parents' ideas. They told the doctors, check the donor database again. They told them that they were ready to go to Germany to try the new treatment. They told them to check my sister for all 10 points. And from all these new roads we built, we figured out that the best option was my sister, who turned out to be a 9 out of 10 match and became my savior. From this sickness and my parents' unrelenting willpower, I gained the knowledge which I'm now sharing with you. It is the knowledge, it is the key to making your own personal crossroads. Stop being passive. Start seeking better solutions. Make things happen. And most importantly, ask and accept help from others. During my sickness, I was not only supported by my parents, but also people around the world. Some who I did not know, and some who were in my community. Each one of those people sent me a paper crane, and this is only a fraction of the 7,000 I received. So I want you to think now. Do you need to make a crossroad? And who do you need to help you with it? Thank you.